When I was first awakened and my guidance was to sell my house and my law practice and only work for the voice that I was hearing, I'll admit, I said, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do with my life, and at the time it was primarily with the healing work, I said, well, if you wouldn't mind, sometime in this period, I would like to be made aware of a miracle level healing that was delivered through me to someone. So I put that out to the universe and let it go. And it was maybe 15 or 20 years later in Harrison, Arkansas, when I had an experience with a man who had really bad back trouble. He couldn't stand up straight. He couldn't even lift a cup of coffee without pain. And, again, long story short, it's one of the ones that's in the book. I, at a gathering, had the opportunity to ask him. His name was Ray. I said, Ray, can I put my hands on you? I said, before I do, I want to let you know that Jesus is my man, because I could tell this was one of those, I was in the Bible Belt. So pretty safe to assume that he was probably on the Jesus train. Okay. So I said, Jesus is my man. And so I just want you to know that that's the place that I work from when I'm working with that kind of intent. And so 10 minutes, I put my hands on his back. They got hot as fire. I made a sound into his back because that's what I was guided to do. And then went to leave. And as soon as I was finished with him, we were in a gathering. There were other people there. It was a gathering of healers. He jumped up and went out, and somebody else went out after him. And then it was like, okay, we're done. We're closing up the gathering now. I went to leave, and he kind of is standing in front of me, and I'm trying to go around him. You know how you kind of dance in the door? And he said, I want to make another appointment. I want to make another appointment with you. I said, well, I'm leaving town for like six weeks. I'll call you when I get back. And according to him later, I guess that night, God came to him and said, why do you need to make another appointment? I sent you your deliverer. Why don't you just accept your miracle? And so he said, okay. I didn't learn this until like about 2 months after this experience. And so I'm back off the road in my house thinking, oh, I got to call that Ray guy because I remember he wanted another appointment. And seriously, knock, 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 knock. And I went to the door, and there he's standing there. And I'm looking, okay, why are you here? And I look out, and there's his pickup truck with a trailer that has a riding lawnmower on it. Because Ray was the kind of a guy that would go mow the old lady's lawn or bring people food. He was always trying to do kind things for his neighbors. Okay. That's just who he was. And he said, well, I just came to thank you for my healing. And then he started, and I kind of zoned out. But then he started talking about what happened. And I said, what did you say? And then I dragged him in the house and put a tape in my tape recorder. That's how long ago this was. And said, would you mind repeating that? So somewhere I have a tape of his story. And he said that when I put my hands on his back, the pain that he'd been in all day with the migraine instantly went away. That's why he wanted another appointment. And I thought, well, that was a blessing that he got, that his pain went away. And then he said, over the next few weeks, he started feeling so much better. He went to the doctor and asked the doctor to take x-rays because he was able to walk and not no more pain in his back. And so the doctor took x-rays, looked at the x-rays, and sent him back down for another set. And then Ray came back with the second set of x-rays, and that's when the doctor said, Ray, what have you been doing? There's no earthly way your spine should be regenerated. The lower three discs of his back, the lower three vertebrae were, he was in line for the surgery with the rods and all of that stuff, and he really didn't want it. And so 10 minutes of energy flow to him accepting the miracle from God, because I'm just the delivery system. I didn't do the healing. And I always make that clear to people. I'd rather call myself a facilitator. I use healer in my literature just because that's what people understand, but I'm a facilitator. And that's how I see my part in the process. And so he basically said, the doctor said something miraculous was happening, and shortly after the visit to the doctor, Ray got really sick. Now, Ray was a smoker. So, like, there was a period of time where he would go to sleep at night and, like, his sheets would be black, and I feel like it was the body flushing the toxins the toxins out. And the doctor made house calls to get him through whatever this flu-like thing was. I believe it was a healing crisis, but I wasn't there to tell him, and he wasn't, he didn't have my phone number to call me, so he went through that process all on his own, but eventually he came out the other side and, as far as I know, lived a happy, healthy life, and for the rest of the time I lived in his town, Ray would try and drag people to me to me. And I tried to tell him, "Look, you can't force somebody to accept. They have to want it. I can't. That's not for me to do." But he tried anyway, bless his heart. I say that in a good Southern way because he just wanted other people to experience what he'd experienced. And somewhere in that hospital are X-ray. There are actual records that show a degenerated spine and then a regenerated spine. And to me, that was my miracle that I'd asked for. That was the I asked for a genuine miracle that somehow was proven, and that's what spirit gave me. Yeah.